what are specific features that generate revenue in our platform?
We also have the booking requests. I nicknamed this the principal walking around the school feature. Welcome back to the Business of Teaching podcast. If you're new here, this is the podcast where we discuss what it takes to run a teaching business in today's world. Now, as always, Riley, do you want to give us a quick update on ArcPlatforms for this week?
Yeah, so this week there was a few different things that happened for the banking side of things. So different companies have tutors in different regions of the world. They have different banking details, and different parts of the world have different ways of doing that. So that was updated for our platforms.
Fantastic. Let's get into the content of today's episode, the topic of which is, what is ArcPlatforms? And I believe, Riley, you've prepared a bunch of questions.
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic.
So first, what is the difference between ArcPlatforms and ArcPlatforms Chat?
The difference between ArcPlatforms and ArcPlatforms Chat is a question that people ask us a lot. I think this is mainly because when we went to a lot of conferences, we mainly talked about chat as opposed to the rest of our broader ecosystem of solution. And look, that's probably because chat is a lot easier for people to understand. It's a new product, whereas for the more ArcPlatform side of things, it's a lot more generic in terms of it's somewhat similar to other companies. There are competitors, for instance, right? But broadly, to answer the question, the difference between ArcPlatforms and ArcPlatforms Chat is that ArcPlatforms is the parent company. And inside that, we have ArcPlatforms Base, which is our tutor management solution. It has a lot more than just tutor management. It has CRMs and admin management solutions as well. But broadly speaking, it is a tutoring company management solution. And then next to it, we have ArcPlatforms Chat, which is the communication / WhatsApp style tutoring chat messaging service. And then together, they're ArcPlatforms because you can use that tutoring management software with the chat solution built in as well, right? So we've got actually three things. We've got ArcPlatforms Base, to sum up, which is the tutoring management software to run a tutoring company. And then we have ArcPlatforms Chat, which is software to manage the communications of a tutoring company. And then finally, we have ArcPlatforms, which is the umbrella term for both of these things. Yeah. So hopefully that wasn't too complicated.
Yeah. All right. Well, just for this episode, we're focusing more on ArcPlatforms specifically.
Yeah.
So, what is ArcPlatforms in 2 minutes?
Yeah. So I'm gonna sort of change this question a little bit and say, what is ArcPlatforms Base in 2 minutes?
Right.
Yeah. Because we're gonna be talking about ArcPlatforms Chat on another day, but yeah, essentially to answer the question, ArcPlatforms Base is broadly speaking, a management solution that encompasses everything from revenue generation features. We've got the traditional lesson management solutions. We've got invoicing and finance and payout solutions to both receive money from your clients and also to pay out your teachers and your tutors. We also have people management software such as a CRM built directly into the platform, a lead generating software that you can install via some sort of plugin into your website that directly feeds into the CRM. We've got all these other custom solutions inside there that you can store various pieces of data and basically say goodbye to external Excel documents. And we also have general company management admin features, such as being able to manage all the company policies that you have in your company, additional needs and understanding like the additional needs or special needs of your clients and customers, as well as training for your teachers as well. So look, this is just a very sort of tip of the iceberg overview of the entire solution, but that is roughly the spark notes of it.
Yeah. Right. So we'll go into I guess more like detail on specific areas for that. So what are specific features that generate revenue in our platforms?
Yeah, I know a lot of people are really confused sometimes when I say revenue generating feature, right? Because it seems quite hand wavy. Like, how is this feature going to generate revenue? It's not an ad, it's not anything like that. But there are specific ways you can remarket and redirect traffic within your existing organization to then generate you additional revenue. So I'll give you an example. One of the products features that I really like is the promotions feature. And what this is it's essentially like a Google ad that you can put inside your company, like inside the CRM of ArcPlatforms or the actual overall software of ArcPlatforms. And it's placed in strategic locations where you can sort of control that little ad and then manage that. So let me give you an example, right? Say you wanted to sell additional enrollments for your English class. What you can do is quickly generate a little square advertisement. You can do that through Canva or
the graphic.
Yeah, the graphic.
Yeah.
And then once you have that graphic, you upload it into our website, and then it would put it in strategic locations like the invoicing page, like the lessons page. So then when a parent or a student or a patron, and you can, as an aside, target them individually and give them different things to look at. When they then go onto that page, they will see that little ad in the corner of the page. And if they click on that ad, then that will redirect them to the website of the re-enrollment or whatever sort of solution you're trying to sell, to then give you additional opportunities to remarket to your existing customers. And what we find is that it is very useful because you as a company, they're already buying from you. You've got that authority, you've got that trust. And then for you to then sell another product on top of that, well, then you're a lot more likely to be able to sell it, and you could probably get better margins as well, right? And just as a bonus as well, when someone clicks on that advertisement, you can also see who clicked on it, what time they clicked on it, right? And sort of gauge their interest. And at the end of the day, you can also give them a cold call and just sort of ask them about it as well, right? So you've got the ability to close the deal, and if the deal isn't fully closed, you can then follow up and try to close it like verbally. So yeah, that's one of them. We've also got other features such as the homepage. I mean, this might not be explicitly revenue generating, but it's revenue generating in the sense that you're throwing your authority, right, or to an audience. So what it is every time a client, student, parent, whatever you want to call it, logs into the platform, then they will be landed onto the default homepage. And that homepage is something that you can alter and change depending on the type of user. So for instance, what we find really useful is for parents, you can write a bunch of blogs and target them directly to the parent. Something along the lines of how X and Y student got a 99.95 or high score, whatever you want to call it. And then, just show and really showcase like case studies and testimonials of your past students and give them tips on how to improve the student scores. Just build a sort of a community directly into the homepage of your solution.
Yeah, and because it's the homepage, it is reinforced
Yes.
on a regular basis.
Yes.
Probably weekly, multiple times a week for some students, and yeah, that's why it's very powerful.
Yeah, and also from the tutor's perspective, you can add a bunch of useful links like, okay, this is what the cancellation policy means, this is what, these are tips on how to study better or tutor better. There's so many things that you can do. The world is your oyster, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? And finally, when it comes to revenue generating features, we also have the booking requests. So this is where, a parent or a student can request another lesson at a specific time. And then tutors themselves can then put in, similar to like booking an Uber to say, hey, I'm interested in doing this student or helping the student out. And then as an admin, you can then select the relevant tutor who would be the best fit, right? So yeah, there's a lot of different features there that can generate your revenue fairly easily because it's directly built into the platform.
Right. So we'll move on now to the next question. And what are the specific features? There might be companies already on different platforms. What does Arc have as a feature set that differentiates to the other companies?
Yeah, very good question. So one of the big sort of things that we had here at Arc was that we want to be different. We want to do things in a way that nobody has done before and really try to push the envelope of what is possible for management solutions. And that's essentially, I believe, what we've done, right? We've got a very strong base in terms of the lesson management side of things. So that includes what we call a feature called live lessons. So what live lessons is I nicknamed this the principal walking around the school feature. So what that means is it gives you a full top-down view of what's happening in your company at any given time. So if you click on it at Monday 10 a.m., then at Monday 10 a.m. you can see, okay, these are the people who are meant to have classes. You can see who's in the class and who's not in the class. You can see, there's 4 out of 5 people in the class and the tutor isn't there, right? You can see any lesson issues that people have popped into the chat or popped into the company as well, and deal with these in real time. Because what we find is what companies lose revenue on a lot of the times is if a tutor is missing. So let's say you've got a class of 5 people, everyone's paying you £50 or $50, for instance, right? That's $250 that you're getting paid for that particular session. If your tutor doesn't show up, then all of a sudden you've lost $250 in revenue and probably $200 in profit just in that one session. That is really bad, right? I don't need to say this twice. So if you had some sort of solution where you could, when the students are like, oh no, the teacher isn't here, to then issue a lesson issue or flag a lesson issue, and that you get notified about that in real time, that can save you a lot of time and money as you then go ahead and try to, come up with a substitute teacher to make sure that there's this, you can minimize the disruption there. And
the platform's very easy to handle in, substitute teachers.
Yes.
Switching them as they come.
Yeah. The platform is developed, like you said, to if need be, you can add a substitute teacher, swap someone out, and then that person who subbed in gets paid instead of the person who got subbed out, and it's all there.
And you don't have to worry, like, oh, will the sub get paid? It's like all handled, all downstream is handled.
Yeah, and that was engineered very well, to be honest, by you, Riley. We also have a very good lesson cancellation flow. So obviously when a class is cancelled or when a class is missed entirely, a lot of the times you need to go ahead and figure out what happened. We've got a fully automated system where the person who is there can write a quick report in terms of what happened. So for instance, if a teacher goes to the session and realizes the student isn't there, can write a quick report saying, the student said that they were on holiday or they had a music lesson or whatever it is. And then you can then go ahead after as an admin to then click on the right buttons and cancel them in the right way. So you can cancel it either with what we call a hard cancellation, where you're penalized for missing the lesson, or you can give them a normal cancellation if someone's sick or something like that as well. So you can do that with essentially a few clicks of the button, and all the downstream effects of who's getting paid and if the teacher needs to be compensated, the teacher will be compensated. It's all done with a few clicks.
Yeah, and the company that is using ArcPlatforms, their cancellation policy that they already have is like going to be able to be adapted in quite easily.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
I would also say we've got a very strong CRM system, as well as like a lead generation form. So what that means is we have the ability for you to insert our platform onto your website, be it Shopify website, a Webflow website,
custom, anything.
Anything, yeah, literally anything. And then if the student or parent then puts in a request for a tutor, that will then instantly go onto our CRM and you can manage that. And once you've confirmed the sessions, you can then instantly push them into a real student onto our platform as well with a click of a button. When it comes to like onboarding of tutors and students, we're also like done really well. There's no need to like move data back and forth from an Excel sheet or anything like that. All it essentially is, especially for tutors, is you just add in the name, the email, at the very least, and then you add them onto the platform, and then it's up to them to then go ahead and add all their additional information in terms of their availability, in terms of agreeing to the company policies, doing the training, adding their compliance documents, DBSs, working with children's checks, police checks, whatever it is. They need to add that onto the platform and then upload it as an image. So you can see everything and do everything with essentially a click of a button, and then it'll just automate it out, provided your tutor or student adds the information in, and they're not able to use the platform until they're fully onboarded as well.
And this is another thing. If they don't enter in their information from the point that they got invited, by the time the next lesson comes around, when they should be on the platform, they'll get what's called onboarding reminded, and you as an admin, you'll get that as a notification. Hey, this student, they've got a class right now and they haven't onboarded yet, and you can quickly get their phone number, deal with that.
Yeah, exactly. And within the whole platform, we've built a lot of like easy to use tools, like little tooltips. So you can click on people's profiles and it'll show their email, their phone number, or any additional information you need to know. And you can also copy random things like emails and phone numbers with just a click of a button, because we've built everything to be very user friendly. Yeah. Fantastic. I would also say another big part of our organization is that we have very customizable data points and data fields that you want to collect. So anything from like compliance documents, you can create your own compliance documents that you want, be it police checks or DBS checks or working with children's checks, whatever your jurisdiction wants you to collect, we can do that. You can classify your tutors into different categories and tutor types. You can collect information related to subjects. So a lot of people, they say, they want to know what subject like the student is doing, maths, for instance, and then within maths, they want to know, okay, what textbook in maths are you doing, right? Are you struggling in this maths course? When does your first exam start? These are all fields that you can collect at the subject level for students. So there's no need to have additional Excel or Google Sheets documents where you're storing this additional data that your existing solution can't use, because everything that you would need with ArcPlatforms is on ArcPlatforms, right? So that's just scratching the surface. We've got about 5 or 6 different things that you can fully customize on our platform. Fantastic. And we also have a general admin management. So that refers to everything from custom company policies. So if you have a cancellation policy or a general terms of service policy or a user or a client policy, you can get your users to agree to that with the platform directly. What happens is, once you set that policy as active, the next time that your user logs in, there'll be a pop-up, and they can't remove that pop-up until they've agreed to that policy. It's similar to when you first buy an iPhone or an Android phone, where you can't use your phone until you've agreed to the terms and conditions. And that's what we've done. So there's no need to fiddle with, DocuSign and beg people to sign up and all that stuff. It's all done for you. Yeah. And there's a few other things like training and these things that were built in directly as well. Fantastic.
Right, so next question. How does someone, they heard all these great things, how do they sign up? How do they start today?
Yeah, well, signing up on ArcPlatform is very straightforward. All you do is you go to our website, arcplatforms.com, right? And then there should be a big button in the top right-hand corner that says sign up. You click on that and you choose your plan. Now, we have different plans. We have a free plan, which is somewhat feature locked, but otherwise you can also do a trial with our business plan as well, where you get to see the entire ArcPlatforms base, as well as the ArcPlatforms chat as well. So you can play around with that. I think you've got, 2 weeks before you?
It's 2-week trial on the different plans. You can switch between them during the trial, and
Yeah, fantastic. And look, give it a try. It's free, or alternatively, you guys could email us and reach out, and we can set a quick demo up and get you started as well. So you can email us on hello@arcplatforms.com as well.
Yeah, so that sounds good. It's pretty easy to sign up and start. And I want to ask you this question now. What is your favorite feature on ArcPlatforms?
So my favorite feature on ArcPlatforms, probably by a decent margin, is ArcPlatforms chat as a whole. And I would say that because, number one, it's very, very unique. I don't think there is an existing solution on the market that does something similar, at least for the tutoring space.
Yeah.
And also, it's a solution that I believe solves many problems that a lot of tutoring companies have. But yeah, this is something that we will talk about more next week.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's right.
Fantastic. And look, let's round out off the podcast for today. Riley, as usual, we'll go to our learning segment. Right. What have you learnt about this week?
For me, what I learned was the appetite for AI art. Now, people, this week, if you're listening to this in the future, what actually happened was OpenAI released an update to their image generation on ChatGPT. Now, this allowed people, what happened was they went in with their own photos or world events, and they used a Japanese style of Japanese animation studio Ghibli, and they just full on flooded the internet with these style images.
Yeah.
And it's like a filter, but then it's the style of anime. But there's absolutely a huge appetite for it, and someone could look at that and think, okay, there's hundreds of millions of these getting generated every day. What's the point, right? Like, that's just a toy. But every great thing, I guess, in technology started off as a toy, and then eventually, it became a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I think we're really beyond the point where AI is a toy now. It's like critical infrastructure for everybody to use.
I mean, for me, I think this situation has reinforced to me that like design and creativity is dead as we know it. Yeah. Like I think you mentioned on like when we were having a chat about this off camera that these days everyone is a manager level, right? And what the manager does usually, the manager doesn't do work, right? The manager is the one who says if the work is good or not.
It's a taste.
Is the taste, yeah. So the grunt, the people who are doing the grunt work, they're gone, to be honest. Like, if not now, maybe in at least 2 years' time, it's probably all going to be gone, right? So everyone's promoted to manager level, and people can probably produce their own like movies and stuff themselves. Yeah, full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could probably do your own Studio Ghibli like animation with like a handful of people. Yeah. That's the future, and I guess it is exciting because you could probably have like entire shows and entire animations made by like a handful of people. So that means you're going to have a lot more shows.
Yeah. That's right.
But in the sense of, people going to lose their jobs. Yes, people will lose their jobs. I think we can say that now with strong confidence.
It's an interesting time. But
yeah. So look, I hope the people watching this are okay. I guess we're probably telling them things that they already know. Yeah. But yeah. It's a bit of interesting food for thought. Maybe software engineers are going to be like that in a few years as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll finish up on that slightly depressing note. And follow our socials, guys, and we'll see you next week.